If you don't have enough vitamin A, you're going to get more wrinkles and sagging of your skin.
Okay, you cannot say that to me because I'm literally gonna overeat on all of these. Is there a difference whether I boil an egg or fry an egg and eat it?
Radicals, what makes more baddies are sunlight, pollution, smoking, and a poor diet.
Okay. There's a lot of young people as well that have acne problems, right?
I worry about supplements only because of all the additives that are in there. So
check your pee-pee. If it's completely see-through, stop for a while. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my podcast, The Rasa Show. I am here, your host, Rasa the dancer. Now, I am super excited because I have my wonderful friend that is also just happens to be a doctor back on the podcast, lovely Shereen. Hello.
Oh, thank you for inviting me back, Rasa.
Oh, it is my pleasure because I actually know that I do so much research on all kinds of healthy things. However, you only know if you're doing the right thing or if it's really true if you actually talk to a professional. So it's very, very useful for us all to have you here. Now, last podcast, when we were chatting, we actually started talking about the skin because the skin for me personally is a huge thing because it's external. Like if something is off, I can see it.
Yeah.
So that's why I guess I care about it so much. And of course, we should care what's inside as well, but like you don't see it. And the skin is just there. You look at the mirror and suddenly like, ooh, today's not a good day. So we started talking about the skin. Can you just quickly, before we go today into another topic about the skin and what is good for it and how we could make it better, can you just explain to people why it's important, the skin itself, and what's the function?
Yeah, so as I've discussed previously, the skin is your biggest organ in your body, and it's probably the one that we don't think about very much. It surrounds the whole body, so it's really important to look after it. It has a protective function, so it's the barrier from the outside world into your body. So and it doesn't allow harmful things to get in. It's also a barrier to keep the moisture in your body, so you don't get dehydrated. Other functions, it's involved in temperature regulation via sweating, and also you've got your sensory receptors, so you can feel touch and changes in temperature. So that's the basic of what the skin does, also involved in vitamin D production.
Okay, so the skin is important all over our bodies, has loads of functions, and if not treated well, looks bad. So for those who are not watching us on YouTube and maybe listening on Spotify or something, we have loads of food in front of us. And I guess you're going to talk about why eating healthy is important for the skin?
Yeah, I think when we think about the skin, often we think, oh, what product should we put on our skin?
Definitely.
I just want people to take a step back. And I know you said about the skin is what you see.
Yes.
But it's all about what you're putting in your body, whether your skin is healthy.
I understand. So are we going to start with like pointing at the food and you are telling us why it's good for our skin?
Yeah. So I
actually going to have I already have some questions bubbling inside me. So what should we start with? Should we start with this one?
I think if I explain to you about the vitamins of the skin.
Okay.
So
vitamins of the skin.
It's really about, the skin health is really about what vitamins you're taking into your body.
Right.
So it's really simple. If you just think A, B, C, D, they're the vitamins that you need for your skin.
ABCD is a Latin event in London. Sorry I had to do this. But it's literally called ABCD with Fatty K. So if there's any salsa bachata lovers, check it out, ABCD. But also vitamins in food, ABCD.
Yeah, so
I will remember that.
So if we just start logically with vitamin A, so here are your foods.
Oh, A,
vitamin A.
So in the plate we have a carrot, an egg, papaya, and we got a piece of we love some salmon. Actually, did you know papaya is my favorite fruit, actually?
Yeah, really good for your skin.
Fantastic. Very expensive. Can I just say so? It's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds. It's insane. Anyway, okay, so we have carrot, egg, papaya, and salmon. Vitamin A.
Yeah.
Why is this good?
So if we look at the science behind it, I think if you understand the science, you're more likely to switch to the healthier food product.
Okay.
And not only switch, probably sustain it.
Okay.
So vitamin A is really good for your skin. It affects the top layer of your skin, which is called the epidermis.
This is the one that I care about.
So this is the one you see.
Yeah.
So the epidermis is full of cells called keratinocytes.
Keratinocytes.
Yeah, and they're in lots of layers. So if you think of it as a brick wall, so say you've got 15 bricks, what happens is the keratinocytes start at the bottom. So they're the nice, healthy cells. And over 28 days, they gradually move up the wall to the top where they get old and they die and your skin sheds. So when you're using your cleanser or washing your face, you're getting rid of that dead layer of the skin. So what vitamin A does is it quickens that process. So rather than it taking 28 days, it takes a shorter amount of time, which means you've got younger cells at the top, so more healthy cells.
Well, I eat loads of carrots. I eat loads of eggs. Is there a difference whether I boil an egg or fry an egg and eat it?
No, I don't think there's any difference.
Then I do love my salmon and papaya. When I have a good month of salary, I buy papayas.
And I think it's about having some of it in your diet in the week. So it's not about having it every day.
Yes, because I would be probably in spots just eating vitamin A all the time.
Well, it also affects the deeper layer, so the dermis.
Right.
So that's where you produce your collagen, which gives you your structure of your skin, and your elastin, which gives you your bounce. So it's anti-aging vitamin A. So if you don't have enough vitamin A, you're going to get more wrinkles and sagging of your skin.
Okay, you cannot say that to me because I'm literally going to overeat on all of these. And then I'm going to be Oompa Loompa with beautiful skin. Okay, what's the next one?
So vitamin B would be your next one. But there are actually 8 different types of vitamin B. Whereas there's only 2 that really are important for the skin.
So there's B1, B2, B3. Is that how we...
Well, it does. It goes up to B12, but it skips some of them in between.
Right.
So I don't know why it does that.
Yeah.
But the important ones for the skin are vitamin B3.
B3.
So these are the
we have
in this one.
Oh, in this one. Okay, so we have banana. We got cashew nuts.
Yeah,
is it important?
Any type of nuts.
Nuts. Okay, so we can just say
nuts and
seeds, bananas, and we have a cow. Moo.
Yeah, so that's
we eat cow.
We eat red meat.
Red meat.
So
okay.
Either a cow or a sheep.
And what is
and this? Yeah, although it looks like a duck, it's meant to be a chicken.
A chicken. Okay. So we don't eat the duck, but we eat the chicken.
We eat the chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So chicken, cow. Listen, if you're vegan, is that an option for vegans?
Well, nuts and seeds.
Good luck, vegans. Sorry.
Banana.
Sorry. But yeah, so we have red meat, we have sheep, and we have chicken, and we got banana seeds and nuts. Okay, so why do we need...
So this is about pigmentation. So
pigmentation.
B3
I got some pigmentation.
Contains niacin or niacinamide, and you might see that in lots of products you buy for pigmentation. So it reduces the amount of pigmentation you produce on the surface of your skin. So if you've got pigmentation problems, make sure you're having enough B3. It's not going to cure your pigmentation, but it's going to help.
Understood. All right. What's next?
B5. So that's
B5.
That's the second lot of the B vitamins.
We have more animals here. Okay, let's start with the animals. So this is the bull.
Yeah. So cow,
again.
beef,
okay.
lamb,
and we have broccoli. We have mushroom, and we have avocado. So avocado I eat very often.
Yeah.
Broccoli I eat enough. Mushrooms I like as well. In Lithuania, we have a thing for mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, we eat mushrooms all the time. We love mushrooms. We go mushroom picking and everything. Anyway, and we've got the meat. Okay, so B5, what does that
So B5 is all about hydration. So it's all about getting enough moisture into your skin. So if you've got dry, dehydrated skin, or if you've got certain skin conditions such as eczema or psoriasis, you might want to eat more foods with vitamin B5.
Guys, if you have any of these issues, so maybe it's a good thing to think about these foods. Have a think whether you have enough in your diet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, B5, what's next?
Then,
so we had B3, B5, and A so far.
yeah.
Okay.
Then we'll move on to vitamin C.
All right, this is more familiar. We all hear about vitamin C, right?
Yeah, nice and colorful.
So we have on this plate orange, lemon, grapes, and think about grapes, broccoli, and tomato.
Yeah. So vitamin C is what we call an antioxidant.
Yes.
So an antioxidant neutralizes something called free radicals. So
free radicals.
Yeah, so free radicals are the baddies in your skin.
Okay.
So what makes more free radicals, what makes more baddies are sunlight, pollution, smoking, and a poor diet. Okay. So the science behind free radicals.
Here to me.
Free radicals, what they do is break down the structure of your skin. So they cause more aging and you to age quicker.
Right.
So remember we talked about the bed? And the layers of the skin.
Yes,
so we said the frame was like your bones, and then the mattress was the dermis. So it's to do with collagen, elastin. So it gives you your bounce and the main structure of your skin. And then I talked about having a topper, the epidermis. Mm-hmm. So free radicals, if you think about, that's like somebody jumping on that bed and damaging your mattress.
Wow.
So what the vitamin C does is take out that person.
You spray it and they're out. If I use lemon for like making, this is what I do in the morning. I always make lemon hot water.
Yeah.
And I drink like a lot of it. Is that a good way to consume lemon?
I think any way you consume it, you're getting your vitamin C. So I don't think it matters how you take it.
And with grapes, I hear that you have to, before you eat them, you have to put it in hot water because they've been sprayed so much with a lot of chemicals that they get stuck with these chemicals. So it's nice to put them in hot water to allow the top part.
That you're educating me now because I'm not a dietitian.
This is my mama.
I don't know
because we usually in Lithuania we don't grow grapes, so we know the importance. Yeah. And sometimes even when you touch it, you can see that your fingers are changing color, like they're dirty or something or sticky.
I think it's important to wash them. I think when you cook certain products, you break down the vitamins. So eating them tomatoes raw, I think, is better than having them cooked.
Perfect. With a little bit olive oil. Is olive oil not good for the skin? It's oil.
You don't need to add oil to improve your skin.
All right. Okay. So what's next? Finally, let me recap 1 second. A, B3, B5, and vitamin C. Okay. I need to memorize this.
So, and then vitamin D is your last one. So vitamin D, we get mainly from the sunlight. But there are some food sources that will give you vitamin D.
We got egg again.
And it's actually the yolk. Yeah.
Only the yolk?
Yeah.
For vitamin D?
Yeah.
Sorry, D? Yes, D. And look, we have a little chicken on here. Okay, never mind. So we have egg, we have salmon again, and we got meats. So to be honest, we get quite few on the same products, which is great because we have to constantly change and have enough. It's difficult, but if it repeats itself, it's a good thing.
And I think it's just about being realistic about your diet. You're not going to have everything every day, but you can see here if you mix and match, it's quite easy to get all these vitamins into your diet.
What does vitamin do to us?
So vitamin D is really good for wound healing and tissue repair.
Tissue repair.
Yeah. So I think again, this is specific to the skin. So vitamin D has other roles. So it's good for your bones, your muscles, and your teeth because it's involved in calcium and phosphate production. But relative for the skin, it's about wound healing. So again, people with skin disorders, eczema, psoriasis, we make sure their vitamin D level is of a sufficient level, and we find it makes a real difference to their skin quality. And also we're starting using high doses in wart treatment. So if you've got verrucas or hand warts that are difficult to treat, we've found that using a high level vitamin D in dermatology can act together with the other products we use and
very cool.
Treat them.
I have a personal question. So my skin is dry in general.
Yeah.
Everything is dry. Everything is dry. So which one of those do you think is the most important thing for me?
So the hydration is the
So we
B5.
got avocados, broccoli, mushrooms, and
some red meat.
cow and bear. Excellent. This is very, actually, this makes me so happy because when I look at the table with all this food, it's not something crazy. It's actually things that I would normally eat, maybe with few extra little bits here and there. For some reason, I'm not a great fan of nuts.
Yeah, not great for your teeth, I think.
Really?
Well, they're good for your teeth, but if you've got dodgy teeth, you wouldn't eat nuts.
What are you trying to say? I have dodgy teeth.
Oh, I'm the age I've got dodgy teeth.
I was like, excuse me, I bring you into this podcast and she's calling my teeth dodgy. Okay, I have something else. So clearly, of course, we try to eat all these great things, but we know a lot of people say that sometimes what you consume is just not enough to get enough of those vitamins. And people say that if that's the case, maybe when you do blood work or something and you see you're missing something, no matter how much you're trying to eat more, it's good to have maybe supplements or vitamins just as extra. Is that a good idea to do?
So I am a real believer, try and get everything from food. The only one that's really difficult from food is your vitamin D because we're dependent on the sunlight. And as you know, in the UK, there's not much sunlight that you're going to get it all year round. So I would say vitamin D is the supplement that I would think everybody should be using, especially if you've got darker skin like me, because it takes you a lot longer to absorb that vitamin D.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
So most people of skin of color will have a low vitamin D. It's not even worth testing on a blood test. You should just take vitamin D.
Interesting. Now I'm going to show you, I take some of the vitamins that again, my mama sends me. And you can tell me if any of them are actually good for my skin or they have nothing to do with my skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So I got a few things here. All right. So the obvious one, I got vitamin D, but it says D3.
Yeah, so that's what you need. It's D3 that you need because that's the one that you can absorb.
So that's the one is great for me.
Yeah.
And I should take it no matter what.
You should. So you just need to be sure it's 1,000 to 3,000 units daily.
And what?
So it is.
It is?
Yeah.
Perfect. And what happens if it's not?
So most vitamin D3s will come between 1,000 units and 20,000 units. But you only need, if you're taking it daily, you'd need it like 1,000 to 3,000.
Perfect. So this one, thank you, Mama. Then I have one that is omega Q10.
Yeah, so you've got omega-3. Not really helpful specifically for skin, but good for brain health. So makes you more intelligent.
Small brain, so hopefully it grows with omega.
Yeah, so omega-3, brain health, and also it reduces one of your lipids called triglycerides. So the jury's out really on whether it reduces heart disease, but it's not going to do you any harm.
Perfect.
The Q10 bit is the antioxidant. So in effect, it's a type of vitamin C. It's not vitamin C, but it's doing the same thing as your vitamin C.
Fantastic.
So some improvement. I would just say with all supplements, you need to be careful what other medication you're taking because sometimes they interact. So this one, omega-3, if you're on a blood thinning agent, I wouldn't take it. It's going to interact with that.
I have no other medications. I'm just pumping vitamins. And then I have zinc.
Yeah, I don't actually know much about zinc as I'm not a dietitian. For the skin, it's not going to make much difference.
Okay. I think it was for my bones or for my inside. I think it's something to do with molecules. Thank you, Mother. I'll drink it either way. And then I got electrolytes.
Okay. Do you take this every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
One a day.
All right.
Like it's like a sachet. You pour it in water in a big thingy.
Okay.
And basically...
So this actually contains an antioxidant. So your vitamins, same thing as your vitamin C.
Go on, Mama.
It contains magnesium. And I think... the magnesium, it gives claims that it reduces migraines, But in neurology, we do use magnesium, but a really quite high dose of 400 milligrams. So I'm not sure whether this dose would help with your migraines, but
I don't think
it
so.
kind of says it improves migraines.
I think it's also for muscles, isn't it? Something with magnesium. We have all these creams with magnesium for muscles.
So magnesium also is meant to be, it says, this product says it helps with your mood. And the reason why it does that, if you look at the science behind that, is magnesium is needed for the enzymes that produce something called serotonin. So serotonin affects your mood. So people who are depressed will take medication to increase their serotonin levels.
Interesting. That's why I'm a happy bunny.
Yeah. And it also is meant to increase the enzymes for melatonin, which is to do with sleep. But whether you're getting enough in this for that to happen, I don't know. And the B6 in this is about energy. So that's what breaks down your fats, protein, carbohydrates, and gives you energy.
And by the way, it doesn't have sugar, but it has all these sweeteners.
Yeah.
It's disappointing to me,
So I worry about supplements.
Yeah.
Only because of all the additives that are in there. So I think you are what you eat. So if you can try and just maybe switch one food in every week and get rid of one healthy food. Over 12 weeks, you've got 12 healthy products and you switched out the unhealthy one. So it's just about
I think it's these kind of things I think might be helpful and a good sacrifice to make if you're living an extreme lifestyle. And there is no way to changing it like in that particular moment. And you feel like you're giving up, you need energy, you need a boost. Yeah. And you just cannot consume any more food, you know?
And I think it's maybe using a supplements for 6 to 8 weeks rather than continuously.
5 years later.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Now, before we go, would you like to summarize just so that people would have a summary of what is important to know about their skin?
Yeah, so when it comes to food and skin, you're looking at vitamin A, B, C, and D. So A is about skin quality because it's affecting the top layer, but it's also about strength. So it's about structure and wrinkles. It's helping you. B3, remember the vitamin Bs, B3 and B5 are the ones that you want to think about.
B3 and B5.
For pigmentation and hydration. And then your vitamin C, I think that's a really important one because it's knocking out all the things to do with aging. You're trying to protect your skin from aging, and that's what vitamin C is doing.
Sure.
Yeah. And vitamin D, obviously for wound healing, if you've got any wounds, you're going to have better wound healing with the vitamin D. We haven't really talked about water.
Water. Let's talk about water.
Yeah. So
we need it.
We do need it. I don't think we need it in excess, but you need 1.5 to 2 liters a day. Obviously, if you're exercising like you do continuously, you're going to need more than that because you're burning off. But the average person probably just needs 2 liters a day. And that's obviously going to keep your skin healthy as well.
And is it true, this is a random question since you brought up water, is it true that if your pee-pee is completely see-through, it's not good?
It usually has some colour. I think
what if it doesn't, then you're
completely see-through, you're probably drinking too much water.
So this is something to keep in mind because I see some people who just never put the water bottle down. Yeah. It's a little bit scary to me. Yeah. Because you're flushing everything out.
I think that's a new trend is to carry water around.
Yes.
I just think obviously when you're exercising, maybe you do need a bit of extra, but I don't think it's important to drink water throughout the day. You can also get it from food, watermelon, cucumber, if you're thinking about water. Actually, if you take too much water, you reduce your sodium level, and you're putting pressure on your kidneys. So I don't think it's important to drink liters and liters.
Guys, check your pee-pee. If it's completely see-through, stop for a while. Stop for a while, It's funny. My body, I don't know how it works, but I could drink not enough water and sometimes still it's very see-through.
Okay.
Do I have a condition? Next episode, we check Rasa's pee-pee.
I think we haven't talked about sugar.
Sugar is bad.
Yeah, so not all sugar is bad. You're getting some sugar from your fruit anyway.
Some veg.
Yeah, so I suppose in relation to the skin specifically, if you're having a high levels of sugar, so a chocolate bar or something like that, what it does, the science behind it, is increase in your insulin production from your pancreas.
Right.
And what that does is it makes you produce more oil in your skin. And oil is related to a condition such as acne.
Right.
So if you're suffering from acne, you might want to look at your sugar level, because that may be making it worse.
That's very good information. There's a lot of young people as well that have acne problems, right?
Yeah, I think it's not just about food with acne. It's about your skin type. So some people are just more prone to it. It's about the bacteria on skin. We've all got bacteria on our skin, but some people react to that.
Right.
And then it's all about oil production, which you personally have no control over. That is your body. Yes, sugar adds to it, but even if you're having a healthy diet, you may still have acne.
Right. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Is there anything else that we left off?
In relation to food and the skin? No, I think we are
done.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, I do this first because it's important to me to test all of my knowledge and my theories, like whatever my mama told me and grandmother and what I read, and just to see what is actually the truth. And that's why I do this podcast. And I really hope as well that you can benefit from it. It's very simple, it's informative. And maybe if you care about your skin and you know what goes inside your body, you could just watch this, memorize certain things that are important, and add it to your diet. It cannot hurt either way, right? Shereen, thank you so much for helping me out.
Thank you, Rasa.
Yay! And now I also want to ask if you would do next time maybe the skincare as well.
Yeah, I'd really like to talk about skincare
because
products.
now we talked about what we put inside, but I'm sure there's so many people that are using skincare products and just would die to know more.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So you'll be back?
I will.
Fantastic. And now, guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel if that's where you're watching. And if not, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, listening to it. And of course, we'll be back with Shereen with the skincare products very soon. Thank you so much. And thank you, Shereen.
Thank you.